Yes, we're live. Thank you everyone for waiting. I apologize for the delay. It was a bit of a mission getting home from the game. Plus, we wanted to stick around to see Sidey and Pendles off the ground. They deserved it. A classic sort of Pies footy sort of game with the ebbs and flows that remind me of games in 24 and 23. Lots to work on, but also there were some really good positives on a personal level. From a team perspective, there were things to like. But guys, if it's your first time in the post-game show, this is an opportunity for you as fans to jump on and have your say. So I'll share the link in the chat. Thank you all again for waiting. I appreciate it. So that is the link, and let's get into it. Let's have a chat. Yeah, just really overall, like the overarching theme was, or the overarching win for me was seeing Sidey and Pendles get the wins. That was good. That was good. All right. Kynan.
What's up?
Talk to you, brother. How are you?
That game was rough. It was a rough watch. It was hard to watch that game, man. That was pretty poor by most of the side.
Is that the
Schultz,
feeling
though,
for everyone in the chat? Do we all feel like it was a bit of a grind? Is that how you would describe it?
Yeah. That was I don't think I've seen more shanked kicks in the forward 50. Dude, we were missing from 30 directly in front. I can't comprehend how we missed those. But last week we kicked them. Like, what happens between those two times? On a positive note, Schultz.
Your man.
Yeah, my boy that I always said I'm a day oneer of. And look what he's doing. He's pulling miracles out of his ass. I don't know how he does it.
Yeah, look, that was by far and away his best game. He was unreal. And what we were by expected score, we should have won by 6 goals, which is quite a stretch, which is interesting. So, look, we kick a bit straighter, and that game is iced. We had probably 2 opportunities to ice the game, especially with McStay in front of goal. But hey, look, in the end, we've gotten the win. It's early in the season. We're still getting the pieces together. To Goey sort of getting back into
rough.
things.
He looked rough out there. Yeah, he looked slow. He looked lost on the ground a little bit. From the TV box, from the angles I was looking at, he looked a bit like he just wasn't committing to the tackles, committing to the contests. He wasn't bursting through those
big tackles late in that. I think it was the fourth quarter. He had
late, yeah. Start of the game though, it was a bit rough.
Yeah. Well, we give him the mulligan. I don't think he played bad, but yeah, he's just sort of working his way. He played most in the forward line. It's hard as a coming back after missing a good portion of the back end of last year, and then coming in as a forward. He probably played 20% midfield max. So look, he got through unscathed.
That's a bonus. That's always good for sure. I reckon some positives. I don't even know what happened. Was it his knee? Was it his ankle? I think it was his knee. And I don't even know. It looked like he got like a knee to the back of his knee or the side of his knee or something like that. I don't know what it was.
It looked like a definite.
I don't think it's gonna be too bad. I don't think it's gonna be too bad. It didn't look that bad.
No. It looked like a definite ACL, my man. Definitely classic ACL mechanism, that one.
Yay. Yay. Great. Memory to the back line. No, I don't fucking know.
It's probably the worst position that we could have had.
Lost someone in.
You lost someone in. Oh, it's tough. It's brutal.
Yeah, I mean, some positives. Ned Long still playing excellent. He looks like a gun. I still reckon we look better without Pendlebury in the side, and I hate saying it. We look better without him.
Kynan, what are you doing tonight, bro?
He looks better. We look better without him, man. We look too slow.
Nah, man. You didn't see. Look at the game when you're putting your lens into Pendlebury as a spectator. Some of the things he's able to do in the contest, his hand passes over the back of his head. He's got eyes here. He's got eyes there. When he runs, when he's in the contest, there were times where he was walking past players and nobody could touch him. It did not make sense. And only Scott Pendlebury can do that. Maybe Marcus Bontempelli.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just, I don't know. Maybe I just don't want to see him hurt himself.
Hey, you know what? No. The good thing about YouTube is we can put a poll out because I'm curious. Like, it's different when I'm at the game. It's hard to ask, get a good feel of who did well, who didn't. I'm gonna put a poll out. I want to see what the feelings are on Pendlebury's game.
Bro, Darcy Moore, man. I don't think I can keep defending him. I don't think I can. He probably played one of his worst games I think I've ever seen him play.
Look, he did have some shaky moments. He had some good moments, but man, Sam Darcy's gonna do that to
that's fair.
He's gonna do that to everyone. He's unbelievable. He's the problem with Darcy. He's got the height and reach of Mason Cox, but he's got the speed and athleticism of a small forward. It doesn't make sense.
Someone just said Kynan is the new Kane Corns.
I know.
That's a fucking insult, bro. Come on.
Vol Kynan.
It's kind of true, though. It's kind of true. I'm here to stir the pot, man. That's me. I'm here to get the conversation started.
we need all perspectives, guys. I put in the chat. Was Pendles good tonight?
So he was good. I just think our midfield plays better without him.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I'm not bagging him. Like he played well. I'm just saying our midfield looks better when we don't have Pendles playing there at this point in time.
Pendles was elite.
I reckon.
Was very good.
I reckon he's better off the halfback right now than he is in the middle, in my opinion.
No. I agree with some of the things you're saying, but I think tonight we're not on the same page, Kynan.
He did that fancy thing where he got the ball and he caught it and flipped it up and then he caught it again. Like that was pretty class. I liked that. That was nice. And I reckon one of the biggest things to take away was our kicks inside 50 to set up contests were shocking. They were bad.
What's going on here? Hold on a minute. Someone said Lipinski needs a spell in the twos. Lipper was very average. I didn't see that tonight. I thought Lipinski was outstanding. And this is before checking the stats. I just want to double check. I thought Lipinski was unbelievable. His kicks going inside 50. What did you think, Kynan?
Lipper?
Yeah.
I reckon he was pretty good. Like some of those handballs he did, the lightning quick handballs that would pass it off, they were good. But I reckon he just struggles in the one-on-one. That's my opinion anyway.
Score involvements. I would like to think Lipinski had some decent score involvements. How many do you have? 1 second. Hold on, bear with me. Lipinski had 9 score involvements, guys. From 22 touches. That's like 50% return. That's unbelievable. Anyways. All right, Kynan, I've got to move on. We've got a few people waiting. It's getting late. I've got to get the people on. I appreciate you as always, brother.
That's fair. Easy, boys. Go Pies. Let's win next week. No, next week. Man. Week after.
Yeah, week after. Take care. All right. What's everyone saying about Scott Pendlebury? 97% Pendles was good tonight. Okay. There's a few mentioning Lipper wasn't great, so I want to get it. Was Lipinski good tonight? I thought he was good. He looked great at the game. Let's put that there. Was Lipper good tonight? All right. Okay. Moving on, we have Mick. Mick, you good to go, brother? All right. How are you?
Good, man. Good. That was like a classic just bank the points game. Yeah. You finish to make, you make finals at the end of the year, and you just got to get those games where You're erratic and inaccurate, but just get the job done. And that's what we did, yeah. We just got to bank the points, and hopefully we're firing in the last the last third of the season. So, yeah, it's just that classic bank the points game.
Yeah.
Go on.
No, I was just going to say you're right. Like, banking the points is crucial this early in the season. Just getting some winning momentum is the biggest win out of everything. But in the same context, I guess we weren't horrible. Like, you look at North Melbourne, and we said then, yeah, we'll take the points with that comeback we had last season. But there was sort of some telltale signs suggesting that it was going to be a slippery slope from there. I thought there were a lot of really nice things to take out of tonight, even though we were playing against an undermanned Western Bulldogs side.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And the elephant in the room is obviously the free kick count that is blowing up all over the commentators couldn't stop talking about it. And
Really?
But look, was it noticeable for you that we were getting heaps more frees? I reckon, look, we got the rub of the green, but mate, I'll take that any day. All those years of copping it, I'll take that any day. And Bulldog supporters are going nuts, mate. But where's the thank you for the cash injection, mate? Where are they going to get 80,000, mate? You know, why don't they play Carlton or Bulldogs in their big game? No, they have to choose us. Well, choose us, and this is what you cop, mate. Take the cash, but we take the points.
I love that. They take the cash, but we take the points. That's a great one. That's good.
We don't need the
cash, umpires.
Mate.
The umpires, Mick. So what's funny was I didn't check any stats until halftime, and at that point, I actually had thought the Bulldogs had the rub of the green in a big way, and then I saw by halftime we were plus 12 in free kicks, and then the second half it was certainly more notable that we definitely got the free kicks going our way. We ended up winning the free kick count by nearly 20. So it is what it is.
Yeah, look, I'm not disputing that they've got a case, to say that we got helped out, because there was a couple of dubious ones. But then again, we had chances to seal it. We missed sitters. We could have gone, 3 goals up through, Elliott, uncharacteristic misses by Elliott and McStay, and it seemed everyone was shanking him. But yeah, at the end of the day, we think the points. Some of our decision making was really concerning, but you have the games like last week where every decision we made just turned out perfectly, and this time, sometimes we just got to relax a bit, like that McStay moment where all he had to do was handball to Membry. I don't know why you have to try and do a precision perfect kick. Well, yeah, just a nice long big handball, mate. That's all. Open goal, mate. What do you do, mate? And he's missing. He missed a few shots too. So, but we were the better team. You can't look when you look at it. We were marginally the better team today, and I think the scoreline is an accurate depiction of what who was the better team.
Yeah, I think, looking back at the game, when we get to watch the highlights, we'll be able to recall many key moments where we should have converted. And as the champion data suggests, our expected score or our expected margin for that game was we should have won by 6 goals based on the difficulty of the shots we had in that game. So that is a positive to take. It's a positive within a negative, isn't it?
Yeah. And another positive is Shooter, as the previous guy said, just the tackling machine, pressure machine, and that's all you ask for, mate. Chipped in with a couple of goals, so he's moving along okay. He's part of the team now. He's there, mate. He's in the forward line, mate. He's the pressure guy. I like when we're on song, our small forwards. You got the difference, yeah. You got the Elliott that can play tall. You got Shooter, that's the tackling machine, and then you got Bobby Hill, that's just the dazzler, yeah. 3 different small forwards, yeah. and we missed Myercheck today. So you put Myercheck, Membry, and McStay up there. Suddenly, we look pretty tricky for opposition defenders, yeah. But that's only when our midfield's helping us out, yeah. But as I said, man, we got the points. Can I ask you about what do you think of? There's a bit of a conundrum with Perryman. Had to go to half back today to help out because McGuinness went down. We're paying this guy $800,000 a year, and like pre-season, I thought that he was going to be one of our playmakers. It seems like we've got him as a stopgap tagger type thing, yeah. So, yeah, part of that, my comment there is like, for the first time in 10 years, I'm doing Supercoach, and Perryman's absolutely stinking it up. And I'm in a cash league with all these guys, and they're all giving me shit about Perryman. And I'm like, what do you want, mate? As long as Collingwood wins, I don't give a shit. But yeah, like I thought he was like. I remember when we played GWS last year, he was everywhere, and like I was expecting a bit of that, but maybe he just needs some time to inject himself into the team.
Yeah, he did train exclusively throughout pre-season in the midfield. I think what we weren't expecting last week in particular was to see the resurgence of side bottom in the midfield. And I think that's thrown a real spanner in the works. Ned Long as well.
Yeah.
I think Fly, like to his credit, is sort of, we've not swallowed his pride. That's probably not the right term, but it hints to what I'm trying to say is he said, look, we've paid big cash for Perryman, and if it means he's a role player in the back line, then so be it for now. It's I wouldn't be making any judgments after 3 games. He was good in the first game. He was quiet the last 2 games, but he's on a big contract. But I guess we'll see with him. But I think, like you said, if he's in a side and we're winning, and side bottom is doing what he does tonight, 12 touches in the last quarter, kicks 2 clutch goals. Ned Long gives us like this fresh breath of air in the midfield. Like it just looks like we're getting our midfield synergy right. And it's actually, it didn't translate in the center bounce so much tonight. Like I think we were down in the center bounce clearances, but in the stoppages, we were pretty good. But there's the cigarro. I was about to say, where's your cigarro, Mick? But Western Bulldogs, we have to remember, they have, last year they were like the number one. They would have been close to the number one stoppage side last year. And when Libba is still in that midfield, who's a big part of that, feeding players like Ed Richards, it's always going to be a battle. And mate, seriously, how some of their build up through handballs within crowded areas to then break out to the outside of the contest. To be fair, like when they did that, they definitely punished us. And look, though, that's the way they scored on us like that is how Hawthorn are going to pressure us, but to a whole nother level. So we definitely need to, we will need a lift by, like, if we're being critical tonight, we need to be overall probably 30% better than that to be a top 4 side for the remainder of the year.
Yeah, it's good to see two crackers in a row by Sidey. Remember, I was saying last year a lot, he used to have a good game every 4 games, but now that's 2 crackers in a row, and that's testament to Fly's faith in him, keeping him in the midfield. And he was really pivotal in that last quarter. And Geordie, it was good to him to have that hit out. Geordie needed a hit out, that's all. He needed to be tackled hard just so he could have confidence in that injury. And like he copped a few hard tackles today and he got back up. So that's the main thing with Geordie. And he'll break games for us later on, as the year goes on if he stays fit. And Darcy Moore, I reckon Darcy Moore bounced back pretty good in the last 2 quarters. Like Darcy was destroying him, but he bounced back, how he helped him out. And going on in 2 weeks, we're up against the Scum. So we've got Perno and McKay to worry about, yeah?
Yeah.
I know you hate me bringing this up, but the big Framps, mate, he's coming back to take on the Gorillas, mate. And we get put Framps on Curnow and Darcy on Mackay. And Howie is the third man. Will be all right, I reckon.
Frampton back with the vengeance.
He's got to, mate. Well, no one else. If McInnes is out for the year, I think we get another mid-season pick. We just get the best tall defender in Australia that's not playing AFL. But that's that's touch and go with those things. But yeah, I love the Framps, mate. Ever since he did that, when he did, I look at it this way. He's been clumsy, yeah, in some games, but I've seen him do jobs on Curnow. I've seen him do jobs on Danaher. I've seen him do jobs on Tom Lynch. So I reckon he deserves a good, 5-6 game run at it, yeah, with help from Howie and Moore. I reckon we'll be all right.
I'm not seeing a lot of love for Jeremy Howe in the chat. Can we get that going in the chat? Because for me, outside of Lockie Schultz, Jeremy Howe was by far, besides that turnover to still side bottom at the ground, it looked like that kick into the corridor by Howie. It was probably overkicked a little bit, but still maybe didn't commit to it enough. But barring that turnover, I thought he was our second best player on the field. Am I far off in saying that, Mick, from what you saw?
He was excellent last week as well. And with that turnover kick, that's Howie. We know what Howie's like. He's going to go for that, and that's one of the reasons why we won all those games going back 2 years, all those close ones, because we took the risky option. And good on him. I applaud that. Yeah. Dan Houston tried a couple of those today, and it didn't come off. But yeah, that's in our DNA. When the game's close, we're going to take the option that's going to open up the whole fucking side of the field, and we can get away. And he hits up Sidey on the chest, and we're off, mate. And sealing the game. But that's Howie for you, mate. I'll take that any day. And all those intercept marks he takes, that offsets that turnover. So yeah.
You know what we also saw, Mick? I'll leave it on this one, then we'll keep it rolling. But there was an interview with Pendles last year after the season. He said, next year, you're going to see a Collingwood side. When we're up and it's late, we're going to we want to keep rolling with that momentum. Whereas in the past, and naturally, teams, when they're up late in the game, they slow down, they take the long kick. But you saw who kicked, there was, besides that Howie won in the fourth quarter, there was another guy who kicked it from the right side into Shooter in the middle, and he took that strong mark under pressure in the corridor. Risky, but it just points to the fact that we are trying to change the mold of our mentality. When we are up, we're going to keep taking on the kicks that got us into that initial lead. Do you remember who that was by any chance?
I can't. Yeah, I remember the kick, but I can't remember who did it.
McStay. Great kick. Risky, but
yeah.
Okay.
And just before I go, I hope this doesn't turn out bad for Crispy. They're going to charge. I think he got cited for a dangerous tackle. And if the AFL's got any, I don't know what word to use, but mate, he's going to break the. If he misses out on breaking the record because of that, because if he cops a 1 week for that, then that's fucked. But yeah, just letting you know, I can't even remember the incident, but it's been popping up on some of the.
It was very early in the game, I think.
Yeah. All right, Ant, I'll let you go to other people.
Yeah, good man. All right, have a good night, Mick. Take care.
No worries, pal. See ya. Look forward to your content this week. See you, mate.
See you, Mick. All right. There you go. Quickly checking in on that poll, by the way. I'm curious. 82% of you say Howe will get coaches' votes tonight. He was unbelievable. The way he supported Darcy Moore, especially in that second half, I think that really ensured that. Look, Sam Darcy had his moments, but wow, did that help us go a long way in winning this game tonight? let's speak to, where is it? My man, Ramesh. Give us a thumbs up. You ready, my brother? The fan cam's debut. Here we go. Mate.
Howdy. How you going?
Good. Talk to me.
Talk to you. Ripper. How good? I mean, like going back to 23, we win those games. Last year we lost them or drew them. So happy days.
When the narrative comes in about being too old, too slow, you look at games tonight and we looked too experienced in the end for them. And that,
that's it.
Pendles, side bottom connection, that got us the win in the end. Part of that got us the win.
Yeah, for sure. They looked like, besides set shots, composed pretty much. Like doggies hit 3 and 5 minutes late, like midway through the fourth. Like that has all rights to rattle you, and they like stood firm. So no, it was good. It was good. There's not too plenty to work on for sure, but as I said, when you win those games that you have all right to lose and that would really knock you if you did lose, I think they can come out lessons learned onto the next one. And after Carlton, 2 grand finalists, we'll know where we're at. We'll have a pretty good indicator of where we're at.
How good would it be to put Carlton into their put the final, maybe the final nail in the coffin if they have they got a bye this week coming up as well, or no? They wouldn't. They've got who they got? Western Bulldogs.
It's good gauge. Good gauge.
If the doggies play like that, I mean, they went outstanding.
They'll slap them.
Yeah, guys, I think there's a bit of feedback on Ramesh's end. Is there a sound coming out that you could potentially fix there?
Oh, no idea.
That's okay. Don't stress. So that we're gonna we'll put up with it for a little bit, guys.
Sorry, fellas.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad. Talk to me about who impressed you, and try to think of a left field player if you have one in your mind.
Left field. I mean, I don't think McStay was anywhere near as bad as what they've said. He took a few massive clunks up the line. Didn't convert, which it always looks bad. And he did have a couple moments, but I don't think he was as bad as what he did his job 100%. If that kick to Membry ended in a goal, if he converted that goal late, totally changes the tune of the game. Besides that, it's a bit hard at left field when Howe was unreal, Schultz was unreal. No one's really spoken too much about Nick, but he looked clean as a whistle. He didn't do too much wrong. Again, add a goal, that's 3 votes, you'd say. But I thought Brazzy, they just did their job. Professional win, I guess you'd call it.
Brazzy's a good shout. He was actually superb looking watching out as a spectator at the G. Did Mason Cox get a concussion? Is that the talk of the town, or
he got a fist put through his head?
Dog move.
Yeah, no good. Will he get weeks? How many, if so? 2?
1 or 2 weeks. I'm not too sure about the adjudication of it anymore. I just sort of turn a blind eye to that. But Brazzy's having a contract year, isn't he?
Yeah. He'll open market, he'd be 8-9 minimum. If you give him 4 years at 800, that'd be his contract, baseline.
Yeah. Look, hopefully it'll be something. It'll be a constant talking point throughout the remainder of the year. Unfortunately,
every year, 15 players, 16 players.
That's the problem. Most clubs have 10 to 15 players out of contract at the end of every year, so that's the nature of it, and that's well, I'm not complaining as a content creator, and it does spark conversation. Like, oh, guys, I'll always talk about every free agent and pre-agent. Doesn't mean I want them all, but I want to open the conversation and see where the pool is leaning towards the most. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I thought, like, Sam Darcy towed Darcy Moore in the contested mark in forward space. Out, like, around the ground, I know. I thought Darcy Moore was unreal, like actually unreal. Like he's playing as a fullback for the first time in as far as I can remember. He's playing as like a bona fide fullback. Like he wasn't like he had Darcy on like a pretty short leash, and that bloke's going to be like proper unstoppable. He looked by far, I think, probably best player on the ground, pretty comfortably. Like he was a monster, and I don't know, like I don't think Wiedering or Barras or anyone would have done too much more against him. Like
I can't wait to see Carlton have their hands full against someone like Sam Darcy.
Oh yeah,
next week. He's mate. While I was stressing about Collingwood needing the win tonight at the game, I also shared some moments to appreciate what we were witnessing and what we are going to witness for the next 10, 15 years with Sam Darcy playing against and just destroying everyone. But to your point about Darcy Moore, you're right. He took the biggest forward, usually doesn't play that one-on-one role. He took that on. He wore it as a skipper. That's something we've wanted. He did that against North Melbourne. They pulled the pin after a quarter or two. They persisted with it this time, and I would say that, it's going to have to be his role if we're going to be premiership fancies. And he had a lot of good moments. He had some bad moments, but you're going to have bad moments against Sam Darcy, who, in my opinion, can easily be the best forward this year if he isn't already.
He might win the Coleman, like dead set. Like I'm not a punter, but that's something that I'd like be worth a decent tilt. Like he's going to get opportunities, like, and he's going to get lots of them as well. Like especially when Bont comes back, Bont and Bailey Dale feeding him, like he's going to get opportunities for sure.
100%. We get the bye now, so a little bit of respite from those close games.
The ticker needs.
It's hardly ticking now.
Oh no. But yeah, I'm gonna fucking wrap up. But pleasure. Thank you so much for your preseason content. You got me through some fucking grim no footy time.
Oh mate, it's tough. I appreciate your support and thanks for jumping on. And hopefully we can see you for the remainder of the year, man. Appreciate it.
Pleasure. Take it easy, mate.
Take care, mate. Bye. All right. Next up, we have Mickles. My man, you ready? Give us a thumbs up, good man. All right, let's do it.
Oh, how about that game, man?
Talk to me.
Oh, I mean, it was a bit hard to watch this game at times, especially the first quarter. But after the last 10 minutes, I thought, ooh, we actually might have control in this game. But I'll be honest, Bulldogs did put up a fight, and they were, I would say, dominant in the game, more than us, but we were controlling. And I think, was it Jimbo that mentioned our experience with close games, and because we have a lot of experienced aged players, that just got us over the line, especially Sidebottom's last goal. Like that was the icing on the cake.
How good. How'd you celebrate that one?
That was got to celebrate it. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, a win's a win. I know that free kick is a bit of an eyesore, but I'll take it. I'll take it over a draw or a loss any day.
Were you thinking surely not another draw against the Doggies? Was that going through your mind at any point?
Please, no, I don't. I remember I was going through it with my friends, and I thought, oh no, this is giving me PTSD from like Anzac against Essendon last year. I'm like, please don't play like this again. And then I think side bottom probably had enough of that. He's like, nah, we got to get this win, man. And we did it. It was a team effort too. Like, it wasn't just side bottom who did that. Like, everyone played their part. Everyone played their role. I don't think we really had anyone who was bad, I would say. We had concerning plays, and I think maybe a bit too unselfish at times. Way too unselfish. But other than that, yeah. That's pretty much it.
Do you reckon McStay was trying to kick that goal or trying to pass it off, or was it somewhere in between?
I think when he got it, he was a bit confused. I think it was in the moment. He seemed a bit like, okay, do I take the kick or do I pass that? So I imagine in his head, that was the first thing that came to his mind. Then the second thing would have been, oh, maybe I should pass it. And then he probably went with that decision. And it was a bad decision making choice, but it was done. It was something that just happened in the moment. I think he froze a bit. That's all it was. Like, it was a stupid thing, but we all make mistakes. It was just that game. I hope.
Yeah. Do you guys watching the game at home see the amount of pressure someone like Tim Membry is able to apply at ground level? Like, do you notice that?
I don't think really per se when the camera not focusing, because unlike being in the stadium, when you're watching a game, you kind of see everyone, where everyone is. When you're watching it from home, you don't really see everyone. But whenever the camera did focus, I do see that he does apply pressure, and I've seen that while he wasn't as excellent as he was in that Port Adelaide game, which honestly I loved that game. That was my favorite probably so far. 91-point margin. Oof. He still applied pressure where he could, and I think he played it good. Like, I can't fault him.
Yeah. No, I was just asking because from what I could see at the ground, his work rate's incredible.
Yeah.
There was a moment late. Again, I don't know if you guys saw this, but Bobby had an opportunity to pass it off to Membry late in the game.
Oh, yeah.
And then he ended up going long, and then the ball went the other way, and I'm pretty sure they actually scored from that. And it would have been nice for him to Bobby to pass it off there. But while Bobby was generally quiet, I felt like in key moments he did the job.
He did the job. Scored 2 goals still while being quiet. That's what I like to see. Schultz was an absolute unit. Like, aside from the goals, his work rate, and he's been pummeled in that game. I've been watching him catching marks where Dot tried to hurt him. I'm not going to lie. He took a lot, but he still stood strong. And I told my friends last year, since we recruited him, I said, watch, Schultz is actually someone who we really need, because a lot of our players in 2024, what they showed was they really don't or can't take the beating. Yes, there's Maynard who can dish it out, but he's been trying to be quiet since what happened with him and Brayshaw 2023 or so. But yeah, aside from that, yeah.
Are you looking forward to the break, or are we?
I
prefer another game next week.
I would prefer another game next week, but I'll take the bye. We better work on. I would like to see us, I think, start moving the magnets around a little bit more as well. Obviously not too much, so we don't really do too many drastic things that throw some of our players off. But because a lot of the teams will be analyzing us as well when they play us, and obviously tagging Nick is one of them. So that was kind of figured out in 2024. So if we can change that up a bit, and so far we've shown that we can basically almost repeat 2023. And I hope Carlton lose for the 3rd time in a row against Bulldogs. Like, that nice. That'll be the icing. as well. So yeah, and then we'll be playing.
Good is,
Sorry,
you
yeah.
go. You go ahead. You go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I hope Carlton lose this week and next week, and then when we play Carlton, I want us to dish out at least a 30-point margin. That would be nice.
Yeah. How did you like Nick Dacos's game?
Oh, Nick Dacos's. I loved it. It's Nick Dacos doing Nick Dacos things. Yeah, there was one behind he's gotten, but 39 disposals. Unlike Patrick Cripps, he's been actually elevating his game pretty much. And I know Cripps is trying to carry his game for his team, but it's still not enough. Whereas Nick Dacos, on the other hand, like he's been absolutely amazing. Like even though it's most of the times I know most people mention is tries to do uncontested marks, marks, kicks, all that. But it's where he tries to find these spots so that he creates opportunities. So he gets like say 2 or 3 people trying to tag him, but then that leaves room and some of the other players open to take other marks or like handballs or something like that. So really, he's doing a lot more than what people try to discredit him for. But yeah,
interesting.
Nick Dacos, amazing.
Yeah. Last thing I'll ask: so 60% of you noticed the pressure of Membry and his pressure and running capacity. My next question is, because Rick mentions how good was that through ball from Mason Cox to Bobby Hill late in the game. Will Mason Cox be in the side next week if he's not concussed?
If I was the coach, I would have him side. Worst case scenario, if he actually is concussed, I would have him at least maybe if he still can play for us as emergency sub. I wouldn't want to rush him out. But he's played a really good game, so yeah.
Sorry, just quickly, Steve, my man. Shout out, guys. There was just. I'm sorry to interrupt, but there was a lot of overwhelming love from people at the game coming up to me. I didn't expect, anyone to come up to me. So for you guys just to come and say g'day and say you love the content, I just want to share the love back and shout out to Steve and Achilles as well. So yeah, shout out. Sorry guys, sorry Mick, as you were.
No, all good. Yeah, I would have him maybe as an emergency sub if he can play still. If not, I would rest him. I would rest him again because we need Mason at his best.
Yep. Well, it's a good problem to have, isn't it, Mick?
Yes, it is. It is.
All right, mate. We've got to keep it rolling. I appreciate you waiting and jumping on the fan cams, mate.
Appreciate it, man. Take care, guys. Go Pies.
Let's go, Mick. All right. Next up, we'll go Dan. Dan doesn't have a cam, but he's been waiting patiently, so we'll give him some love.
I hope I have. How are you?
How you going?
Yeah, good, mate. I think this is the second time I've been on.
Yeah, would be. Hey, how did you what are your thoughts of the game? Talk to me.
Well, I think it seems a bit negative in here tonight. I feel like people are look, it was an ugly win. I think that's a fair statement, but I think let's look at the positives. We're not used to dealing with really high pressure sides. Like we're a high pressure side, and it's very hard to compete against a high pressure side. So, in the opening round, GWS did that to us and we crumbled. So I think it's really positive to see us standing up to it and really trying to have a go and stay in the game despite other teams really bringing the game to us. So I think that's really positive. The second thing is that our decision making under high pressure was elite. Like it was. I mean, people can criticise a few of the decisions made, but generally speaking, we did more right than wrong. I think both of those things tonight would probably give us a B+, which is, was good enough to beat the Dogs. But I think probably the things that have summed up the start of the season for us have been, firstly, our preseason trades have been bloody good. I mean, to get Memory, Houston and Perryman has been phenomenal. I mean, for 2024, we got good players that we didn't really need and didn't really plug our gaps. But this year we've got someone who can mark the ball and can put it through the two big sticks, Membry. Then you've got Dan Houston, who's there to replace Murphy, which is exactly what we need. And then we've got Perryman to really help us when Pendles isn't there. So that people are saying that Pendles not being there or taking a back seat is a bit worrying, but I think we're forgetting that we've got 2 or 3 players who can really step in and help out the team when he's not there, which I think is like a credit to Collingwood's recruitment. I think our recruitment this year and in 2023 was elite, and dare I say it, I'm starting to feel 2023 vibes.
Don't say that. You say that, but don't say that.
Should I say that? Is it too soon to say that?
It's so conflicting, isn't it? It's like, yeah, if you say 2023, I think premiership, but I also think heart attack after heart attack, week after week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, the thing that won us the premiership was pressure and making decisions under high pressure. So our decision making under high pressure is we've got a team of players who make really good decisions under pressure. Not all of them, but probably more than half of them make really good decisions. So what that means is if there's no one to pass it to, getting it out into space, so you've got a player who can run onto it. That's one example of it. But the other thing tonight was people are saying that, we won because of the umps. Look, there were a few 50-50s that maybe we shouldn't have gotten. But the reality is the Dogs try to play high pressure footy without discipline. And if you do that, you're going to give away frees. And I think the thing that summed up the match, just in a nutshell, was Lob clocking Cox straight in the face. I mean, that was just terrible. Like, you can't be that reckless if you're going to be playing high pressure footy. So because of that, I think, look, you can complain about the umps all night, but if you're going to play high pressure footy, you've got to concentrate. You've got to at least be aware of what you're doing and be really disciplined with the pressure that you apply. So I think that was really. There are a few frees that were a bit questionable, but the majority of them were just because they were, being reckless. And I saw a couple of those frees, and they were just terrible. Like, a few more probably could have been awarded. But yeah, that was basically my taking, what I really took out of the start of the season and tonight.
Yeah, you make a lot of great points. You talked to Dan Houston a bit earlier, and obviously a bunch of other things, but I want to talk about Dan Houston specifically. But did you notice some really strong defensive moments from Dan Houston beyond his ball use? I know he was a little bit quieter compared to maybe last week, but what did you make of his defensive efforts tonight?
He wasn't as good as he was last week, that's for sure. But I don't think he was as bad as everyone says he's saying. He was a B. It was a good effort from him. He wasn't elite, but he wasn't as terrible as everyone's saying he is. Now, let's compare him with, say, Lipper. Now, I'm a big critic of Lipper. I think he's good on paper and he's good at getting his stats up, but he had probably there was 2 times during the game where he really had an impact, where he got the ball inside 50 twice. The rest of the game, the biggest problem I have with Lipper is he doesn't sit with the broader philosophy of Collingwood, which is you empty the tank when you're on the field. It's a high-pressure team there to really empty the tank whenever we're on the field. And players like Tim Membry, Perryman obviously show that. Like, you see them every time there, and Bo McCreary as well. Johnny Noble was like that as well. Bruzzy, running down players from nowhere. Isaac Quaynor did that as well. All these players who run down players from nowhere, where it didn't even seem like that they were in the picture to tackle the bloke, and they come back from behind and they, land an amazing tackle and it turns the game around. That's really the philosophy of Collingwood. And I think someone like Lipper, on paper, he does some good things, but he always seems to be putting 70% effort in. Like you see him and a player's running away with the ball and he's kind of like jogging around leisurely. Like you're not getting paid $500,000 a year to jog back into defense. I mean, I don't have a problem with some of the good things that he did, but it's the mindset that really gets me is that you've got to be applying 100%. You've got to be, chasing the ball down. Even if you don't get them, you're not going to get them 60 to 80% of the time, but, still show that your heart's in it, which is what I think the majority of the rest of the club does. But he just seems to be jogging around everywhere and not applying 100%. I don't know. What do you think about that? Do you think I'm being a bit harsh?
I'll level with you with regards to what you've said. I think, emptying out the tank. Maybe he doesn't do it in the same way that a Bruzzy Maynard does or a Lockie Schultz, but I think I thought he was good with the ball. He didn't have many kicks. He had I think 1/3 of his possessions were kicks and the rest were handballs, and he was really good in some handball chains. He had some good kicks going inside 50. He had half of his touches were in score involvements. The other thing with Lipper is, the quote, I don't think he runs out the game very well. I don't know if I entirely agree, just because of his running numbers. Like if we want to look at that as a reference, like I'll pull it up just quickly. I'm keen to. Lipinski ran 15.2 kilometers tonight, and that was the leading runner on the ground.
That's interesting. Yeah. Look, he seems to be one of those.
As well, by the way, Dan. That's every week.
It's interesting because I think Tom Mitchell's seems to be, in that case, he might be one of those players like Tom Mitchell where he does a lot of things behind the scenes that's not necessarily glamorous, but you don't see. So maybe I am being a bit hard on him. Maybe he's doing, a lot of work behind the scenes to set up plays.
He's
the
doing
score
a lot of
involvement
work on that wing. He's doing a lot of work that you just don't see on TV. You'll never see it. Some of the running efforts he has that you won't see caught on camera is unfortunately those type of players that they'll be unheralded because of they won't get the attention or the raps they deserve. But internally, he's certainly appreciated for sure. But I see your point in some ways, and in some ways I don't. So it's not the worst take. There's some valid points. He's not a Bruzzy. He's not a Lockie Schultz. He empties the tank in a different way.
Maybe. Yeah, I haven't really considered the groundwork that he does. I think that's something that.
Is that throwing you off?
I might want to look at. Sorry?
It's thrown you off there. It's thrown you off, hasn't it? That number.
It's made me think. It's definitely made me think.
It's handy to know in the AFL app. There's if you go into the game, you select tracker, which is the 4th tab. I'll try and put it here. It's there, and then you'll see the numbers here. See that beautiful man? So that's where you'll see the numbers. It's handy to know. Another interesting one. The second biggest runner on the night was still side bottom at 14.3 kilometers. 12 touches.
I thought Still was unbelievable. He's unbelievable. I mean, his ability to position himself to get the ball and to, put it away when we need it the most. Like, how old is the bloke? 35? How old is he? And he's still, pulling shit like that out of his ass. It's unbelievable. But I've got a coworker who says that we've got about 2 or 3 years left in us before all our players hit our retirement and become geriatrics. But I mean, look, they're still performing like they're in their vintage. So at the moment, I don't care. I mean, McRae's, look, he's taken a bit of a punt. He's taking on players who are a bit older, but he sees as adding value to our team. So that's a bit of a risk, but I think it's going to pay off. I've got very high hopes for this season, but dare I say it, 2023, we'll see how we go with that, but calling it too early.
Dan, lastly, before I let you go, your DP, the man in the DP, tell me about him tonight.
look, I think the thing about Geordie is when he's hot, he's hot. You know, when he's going well, he's an absolute. He's elite when he's on fire. He can be a bit hit and miss. He can be a bit off at times where he just doesn't have the impact that he normally does. I mean, that goal, that shot in front of goal, you know, he should have gotten that. And, you know, the dog supporters talk about how the Ums won us the game. Like, mate, we should have won by a good couple of goals. Like, we were that much better than them. I mean, all the inside 50s, but Geordie, like, you know, stuff like that where you're like, mate, you're so good. If he really pushed himself, you know, he could be one of the greats, but I don't know. He seems a bit hot and cold at times, which is interesting. But I don't know. I thought he was decent tonight. He was a B. I thought he did some good things and some bad things. He definitely helped out around the scrummages and the contested play, but he didn't have the impact that he can sometimes have. So yeah, I thought it was all right.
Yeah. Look, the only thing we needed from De Goey, I think, tonight was to get through the game. He had opportunities to impact the game. He had 3 shots on goal. He missed all 3. That's okay. De Goey, when he gets a run at it, he'll be kicking clutch goals when we need it the most. He had 2 goal assists today as well, 80% time on ground. So I think, well, yeah, like you said, he wasn't amazing. He definitely ticked the boxes that we all wanted to see as Pies fans.
I think so. He played well enough. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
But I did want to ask you one more thing. And what do you think about Reef?
Fuck, that's devastating, isn't it?
I don't know, to be honest. Look, this may be a very hot take, but I don't think he's really an AFL footballer. I think he belongs in the VFL. I think he's okay, but he's definitely not at the standard of, you know, of say Bo McCreary. Let's put the standard up there, or Johnny Noble. I don't know why we, you know, got rid of Johnny Noble when, like, he's far from the worst in the team and kept people at Reef McGuinness. So I'm not terribly upset, as messed up as it sounds, that he's done his ACL, but I think it's an opportunity to bring someone else in to see if they can really shine.
All right, brilliant, Dan. I appreciate you waiting, man. And yeah, on to the next one. Go Pies.
Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers, Dan. Take care, mate. Tetris, my man. Good to go. All good. All right, let's get him on. Talk to me,
brother. How we doing?
Yeah, mate, we got the win, so I'm feeling good. It was a nice win in the end to get the win.
Man, it was good.
Oh, Tetris, we've lost you. I'm gonna take you off the stage.
Sorry, mate.
Yeah, all right. Go ahead.
Sorry, mate. It was good to see Nick have a blinder. Man, how was that kick from Ned Long?
That was
he's just
to the inside 50 through the corridor, the fat side. Who did he kick that to? Who took that? Was it Elliot that took the mark?
Oh, was it Jamie? Was it Jamie Elliott?
Perhaps.
Something like that. Do you think that McStay, or do you think it was good to see. It was good to see McCreary. He played well.
Yeah. His pressure is always outstanding, isn't it? Had a few centre-backs attendances. Saw himself in the midfield a little bit.
I thought he was great. I think we should give him more in the middle.
Yeah. We're definitely being flexible through the more than ever. Fly is definitely experimenting very early on with our midfield mix. You see, even Jamie Elliott played in the midfield, not tonight. I think he played last week. He would have attended a couple centre bounces, if not last week, the week before. You're seeing Bo roll through there, side bottom, Pendlebury, Dacos, Perryman.
Man, Sadie was incredible tonight.
Yeah, unbelievable, isn't it? And that celebration, whenever the ball hits the deck inside 50 and he snaps at goal, I'm already doing his celebration. I've got the hands out.
He's already turned around the second it hits his boot. Yeah,
exactly. It's trademark. Siding.
I thought Jeremy Howe. I thought Howie was incredible. I thought he won us that game.
Yeah. I would definitely agree with that statement. I think without Jeremy Howe, more than anyone tonight, we wouldn't have won that game. And Nick Dacos, like you said when you first jumped on, he's Nick, just does Nick Dacos things. We probably don't talk about him enough because his standard is so high, we make room for other people
It's
to
so
discuss
high.
about.
And he even he took Darcy's man for a while. I thought he's better. I thought he was better at one-on-ones than Morey.
Yeah. So say that again.
I thought that Jeremy Howe was better on one-on-one on who's their tall guy?
Darcy.
Yeah, on Darcy. I thought he was our best defender. But it was good to see Darcy Moore take a few intercepts. I don't know, because we were talking about how many one-on-ones there were. I reckon that he had about 3 today, probably higher than his average.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say Jeremy Howe probably played mainly as the interceptor tonight. He had some one-on-ones. Darcy Moore certainly had more. Matt Diaz says, no one has mentioned Josh Dacos, and I think now it's time, before we finish the stream, we need to
he was
appreciate
great.
how good he was.
He really is, hey. He took that ball off Nick. No, he played out of his skin as well. And I think Ned Long is just fully cemented in the team now. I don't see us pulling him out all year.
I was surprised.
Do you really think Tom Mitchell is better than... Do you think Tom Mitchell at his best is better than Ned Long now?
Tom Mitchell at his best. So when you say Tom Mitchell at his best, you're saying best as in how he was in 2023 or how he was in 2018 at Hawthorn?
No, how he was in 2023 with us. Because 2018 Hawthorn, I don't know that he'll ever get back, to that form.
Yeah, good question. Good question. Well, the question will still remain is if Tom Mitchell does get healthy, can he get back to that form? If you're asking me if Tom Mitchell can get back to 2023 form versus Ned Long's form right now, it's a tough question, man. Like Ned Long's showing he's giving us something different. He offers something different to Tom Mitchell. He does it in a different way.
He's got intensity about him, hey. He's like a little bit spazzy, but like, and then he just pulls out some, like he can kick, he can hit a target when he needs to.
Yeah.
And he's just strong. He breaks tackles. Shooter was good tonight, eh? I reckon he's just coming into real hot form.
You kind of look like Lockie Schultz, don't you think?
Do you reckon?
Yeah, you got a bit of Lockie Schultz.
Jack Cripps will get suspended? I love Shooter. I've always enjoyed him.
You are the shooter of Pies footy, mate. 100%.
Let's go.
Jack Crisp. I saw it live. I haven't seen a replay. As soon as I saw it, I said I nudged my mate on the shoulder and I said that could be a week.
He won't get. He's 4 off the record for most games in a row.
Does that break it?
He'll be spewing, eh?
Does that break it?
Technically
break it?
Yep. If he gets suspended, then he won't get that.
Interesting.
He's not playing another 240.
Yeah, Matt says it would be an indictment if Crispy missed. That would be horrible. Horrible.
It was on Riley. Was it on Riley Sanders? Is that who it was?
I can't remember. I just saw him sling something.
I thought he smacked his head into the ground a bit. Like I thought he played into it a bit. The Bulldog.
You do get that. Certainly, players are smart. So if there's a way to milk a free kick, they'll find a way to abuse it. In saying that, it was a double. There were 2 actions in that tackle. From what I saw, I would like to see Jack Crisp get off on good merit because he's probably never been reported before. So
I don't think so. Maybe before he was at the Pies.
Yeah.
But man, imagine if they had Chalor and Bont and Davies Junior. That would have been rough.
Yeah, so if they had Bont, Treloar, Waitman, Ugle-Hagan, they would have been. They would have been Liam Jones, of course. They're going to be a side that are going to. They're going to like the way they played tonight and the way they beat North. I mean, sure it was just North, but they did well in the preseason. I think they're going to be. They'll be nothing less than a top 6 side this season if they get their team healthy. If they get Bont back and Treloar, I don't see them being a side that doesn't play finals. They are way too good to not be in the finals. They got the personnel and they got the system, it seems like, tonight. So credit to them. They
Yeah,
were
they got
good
it.
in moments as well.
They got a good list there. I thought we should have won by 4 goals, though. That was, man, when McStay tried to pass to Membry like that. That was brutal.
Nah, we're all human. We're only human.
No, and he what did he kick 4 last week? So he's got a couple weeks off. It was good to see Bobby kick a few.
Yeah. It was good with the minimal impact he had in the game, and that's what you want from forwards. Might not be your game, but it can be your moment. And Bobby definitely had some moments in the game tonight.
Yeah. McCreary kicked 1, did he?
Nah,
I think he kicked
don't
1
think
snap
so.
goal.
Oh,
He
actually,
didn't.
no. He did. He
Yeah,
actually had a
he
really
did.
nice front and center crumb from a contest, and he snapped it after that. So he got his goal.
Yeah, and Shooter kicked 2, I think. Good to see him kick some goals.
Yeah.
His pressure was just, second to none. Hey.
Yeah,
Even Membry,
great
Membry, you can. He just goes so hard at it, eh?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know what. I don't know. Were you there?
Yeah, I was there.
I don't know if you can tell more. Like I feel like last 2 weeks, like you don't really see Perryman on the TV. Is that a bit different live?
I felt the same.
Yeah,
But we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He hasn't been bad, but he hasn't stamped his authority in the game. But it's his 2 games.
no, you don't
into
see him fumble or fuck it up, but you just don't really see him around it much. But what's he playing off the half back?
Yeah, he played mainly off half back tonight.
Yeah, he'll be good though. Do you think Maynard will? Do you think Maynard will go to North?
Huh. Let's save that conversation for another day.
Yeah.
All right, Tetris, I appreciate you jumping on.
No worries,
I think this is
mate.
your first time on the
Have a good
show,
one.
right?
Yeah, first time on the show.
Well, you're welcome back anytime, mate. I appreciate it.
Thanks, mate. Nice to meet you. Have a good one.
Man. Bye-bye. Go Pies. Kev, we saved the best for last. You ready? All right.
Oh, mate, what a game, huh? What a game.
Collingwood,
honestly,
Collingwood.
we had our chances. Honestly, the misses in front of goal, 2 goals, 6 in that last quarter. We had a few chances throughout the game, but I thought we controlled the game. Just thought Bulldogs kicked inaccurately as well. Don't get me wrong, that they played really well, but at the end of the day, we took our chances when it mattered. So
you reckon the doggies were inaccurate?
Or they had some chances in front of goal that they could have kicked. They hit a few. That they got a few posters as well.
Yeah. They look. I reckon the posts got a fair workout tonight. That's for sure. But I would say the doggies were quite efficient going inside 50. They kicked 10 goals, 10. So that's from 43 inside 50s. That's nearly 50% going in, having a shot on goal. Collingwood, our efficiency going inside 50 was good, but our efficiency on goal was not there. 10 goals, 16. And it's not a massive discrepancy having 6 more scoring shots than the Bulldogs tonight, but those misses were, they were bad misses.
No, I agreed. No, definitely agree. I definitely do think McStay tried to pass it off to Membry in the goal square, and it was going to be a walking goal, but it's just that there's a few mistakes that we made. Houston kicking out on the full, instead of trying to kick on the left foot. I just felt like the kicking that gave the Bulldogs a go, just we had all this play out on the wing. So had we hit that kick on the wing, that was an uncontested mark. So look, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. The umpiring, look, maybe some dodgy calls, but what about the ones that we didn't get? Like the holding the ball that inside our 450 that we didn't get. Darcy Moore got pinned for holding the ball. He had no prize. Well, that gave the Dogs a goal. I don't think Bulldogs fans should be complaining about the umpires too much. They've had umpires decisions go their way at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what the free kick count is. We could have got some few holding ones, definitely. I thought Memory was held, DeGori was held. They didn't pay a few non-marks that they didn't pay as well. But I think at the end of the day, it's just footy. Like, you win some, you lose some. It's just like with any sport that you play. Like, you're going to get the rub of the green sometimes. You may get a bit of luck going your way. Nick Dacos could have got pinned, yes, agreed. But at the end of the day, like, the umpires weren't the reason why the Dogs lost. It was their mistakes that they made that we punish them on turnover.
Yeah, we've been really exceptional in from turnover this year. We were decent in turnover last year with the forward half territory. It was nice to see us quell them from back half, or from their back half. I'd have to see the match stats. I want to quickly check if it's available. Give me 1 second, Kev. But I thought for the most part, we were able to retain territory in our forward half, which really gave us some leverage and I guess maybe tired out the Bulldogs to a certain extent. We ran the game out well. So are we still too old and too slow?
No, definitely not. I mean, there are times Bulldogs did kill us with their leg speed, and maybe because when we try to pressure the ball, they're able to get out the back. But I think at times, like, our tackling pressure was good. So you can't. It's not that we're too old, too slow. It's just that there are going to be momentum during games. It's all about how you handle it. So, can't wait for Carlton. Definitely will be streaming the game Friday night because I know that we got the bye. So it'll be interesting to see how Carlton play. But no, look, I think with these sorts of games with the Bulldogs and Carlton, they'd generally be close. I know Bulldogs have had measure, and yes, we've won a few games against them. But I do feel like it's always going to be, a very close game. And they did well without Bont and Trelaw and without Waitman and Liam Jones. It's just that I thought that Mason Cox coming in and thought, oh, maybe Will Hoskin-Ellis should have came in. But, I thought Mason played his role. He took some marks when he needed to. Got a fair whack in the face. But even if he went through the concussion protocols, he'll still play on in 13 days anyway. So it doesn't really matter if he gets concussed or not. He still will be able to play within that 13 days period because obviously we play on Thursday night. So look, it's definitely not something that you want. I think they suspected an ACL for Reef, and I thought, oh no, it definitely didn't look good. Seeing the actual replay of it, but no, credit to both teams. Like, that could have been a game that we could have lost. And it's our experience in close games on knowing what to do. I don't think the Dogs have been in so many close games. And the MCG is a lot bigger than Marvel. So they're not used to playing at the MCG in particular. So yeah, it is what it is, mate. It's one of those things. Yeah, that's it. You got to take it. I mean, don't forget too, like, 2 goals 6 in that last quarter. If we kick some of those goals that we should have kicked, would have been up by a lot more as well. Like that McStain pass to Membry and a few other misses as well. Had we kicked those goals, we probably would have been in control. And there's no way that the Dogs could have come back from that. So it's one of the situations where we take the points. Obviously, we'll work on our goal kicking during the week, and get ready for Carlton. Can't wait to give a few workmates some bagging when we beat them. So yeah, it's always good.
We get the win tonight, and hopefully we get the win in the VFL tomorrow in their first match against Sydney at Victoria Park. Are you going?
Should be able to go. I know my grandmother's coming over tomorrow afternoon sometime. If I don't go, I will be watching it on the AFL app as well. So yeah,
Good man.
I definitely do want to go because obviously when it's at the IIA or Vic Park, it's easy to get to. But I'll definitely try and get there. But if not, I'll watch on the AVL app and tune the boys that way.
My man, Kev. Kev, do me a favor. Sign
Yep.
us off for the post game show.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to Pies Footy, and also don't forget to drop a like on the streams, as well as sharing the videos in stream to all your Collingwood mates, family, friends, even grandparents as well. And subscribe to Pies Footy. He makes some great content as well. So, peace out.
Go Pies.
Go Pies.
See you guys.